Hello, Lalalanders! It's me, Princess Malooky. How are you all doing? Let's read a book by Dr. Seuss, The Lorax. At the far end of town, where the crickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing except old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the crickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it here? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere from the far end of town where the crickle grass grows? The old Once-ler still lives here. Ask him. He knows. Looks very dark here. You won't see the Once-ler. Don't knock at his door. He stayed in his lurkum, on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes, out of muffled moof. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of his shutters, and sometimes he speaks, and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. You see him here? There. He's peeking. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail. And if you have to toss in 50 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather's snail. Look, he's putting it in the pail. Then he pulls up the pail and make a most careful count to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snuff, his secret strange hole in his Truffula's glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper my phone, for the secrets I tell are for your ears alone. Slup! Down slups the whisper my phone to your ear, and the old Once-ler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snurgly hose, and he sounds as if he has smallish bees up on his nose. Now I tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swomy swans rang out in space, one morning I came to this glorious place. And I first saw the trees, the Truffula trees, the bright-colored tufts of the Truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots, frisking about in their barbaloot suits, as they played in the shade and ate Truffula fruits. Look, these are the brown babaloots. From the rippleless pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those Truffula trees. All my life I'd been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. See? I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a Truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill, and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a tneet. I guess this is a tneet. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazoomp. I looked. I saw something pop up off the stump of the tree I chopped down. It was a sort of man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. What's that thing you made out of my Truffula tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a tneet. A tneet's a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, Sir, you are crazy with greed. There's no one on earth who would buy that full tneet. But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong. For just at that minute, a chap came along, and he thought that the tneet I knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what people will buy. He doesn't look too happy. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room, and in no time at all, built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, listen here. Here's a wonderful chance for the whole Once-ler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at Weehawken. sharp right at South Stitch. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Once-ler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting needs, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of Truffula trees. Look, they're all chopping the Truffula trees, and this is the factory. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now, chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 Truffula trees at one smacker. We were making needs 4 times as fast as before. And that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week, he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I am the Lorax who speak for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots who played in the shade in their barbaloo suits and happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go round, and my poor barbaloots are all getting the grummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies." Look at these poor barbaloots. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Once-ler, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of grummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm. I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory. I biggered my roads. I biggered my wagons. I biggered the loads of the to needs I shipped out. I was shipping them 4 to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more to needs, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. "I am the Lorax," he coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuvelled. He snargled, he sniffed. "Once-ler," he cried with a querulous croak. "Once-ler, you're making such smugglers smoke. My poor swommy swans, why, they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smug in their throat." Oh, that's not good. "And so," said the Lorax, "please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off." "Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smug you smucked up around here. What's more," snapped the Lorax, his dander was up, "let me say a few words about glubbity glub. Your machine shucks on day and night without a stop, making glubbity glub, also sloppily slop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I show you, you dirty old Once-ler man, you. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed, so I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. Look, they're all going from that yucky pond. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax, "Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering. Turning more Truffula trees into tneeds, for which everyone needs." And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of the eggs on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last Truffula tree of them all. Look, the last Truffula tree. No more trees, no more tneeds, no more work to be done. So, in no time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smothered stars. Now all that was left neath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. Look, the Once-ler and the Lorax. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad backward glance, as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hastened himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with the one word, unless. Whatever that means, well, I just couldn't guess. That was a long ago. But each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, said the Once-ler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the Once-ler. He lets something fall. It's a Truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the Truffula seeds. And Truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new Truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from exes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of its friends may come back. Now, how was that story? What did we learn from this story? It sounds like a fantasy story, but it happens in real life too. We should never try to be too greedy, caring about ourselves, thinking how to earn most money. We should look around us and see what's affected by it or hurt by it. We should care about others and the environment, the nature like animals, trees, water, air. If we take good care of the environment, like recycle, cleaning up after ourselves, not wasting anything, or planting trees, being good and gentle with animals, we can live healthy with clean air, water, and oxygen to breathe. Now let me know, what do you do for the environment? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you all learned something from it. Bye!